Today is Valentine's Day, a day of love and chocolates or flowers, or chocolates and flowers, or cuddly toys, or chocolates and flowers and cuddly toys. But who was St. Valentine? The popular story of St. Valentine is that he was a priest who broke the Roman emperor's ban on marriage by secretly arranging marriages. When the emperor found out, he was thrown in jail and sentenced to death. While in jail, so tradition says, he fell in love with the jailer's daughter and sent her a love letter signed "From your Valentine." He was executed on the 14th of February. But February the 14th wasn't always St. Valentine's Day. From February the 13th to the 15th, the ancient Romans celebrated the pagan feast of Lupercalia. The men sacrificed a goat and a dog, and then whipped women with strips of hide from the animals they had just killed. Not very romantic at all. The festival of Lupercalia survived the initial rise of Christianity, but was outlawed at the end of the 5th century when Pope Gelasius declared February the 14th St. Valentine's Day. It was not until much later, however, that the day became definitively associated with love. So, it's not exactly what we celebrate on February the 14th. During the Middle Ages, it was commonly believed in England and France that February the 14th was the beginning of the birds' mating season, which added to the idea that Valentine's Day should be a day for romance. The English poet Geoffrey Chaucer was the first to record St. Valentine's Day as a day of romantic celebration in his 1375 poem, The Parliament of Fowls, writing, "For this was saint on St. Valentine's Day, when every fowl cometh here to choose his mate." Valentine greetings were popular in the Middle Ages, though written valentines didn't begin to appear until after 1400. The oldest known Valentine still in existence today was a poem written in 1415 by Charles, Duke of Orléans. The poem begins, "Je suis déjà d'amour tanné, ma très dolce Valentine." I'm already wearied by love, my very sweet Valentine. Despite being addressed to my very sweet Valentine, the poem is not a personal message of affection like today's Valentine's cards. It actually refers to the courtly practice of holding a lottery on St. Valentine's Day, in which everyone was assigned a partner, generally not their husband or wife, who was supposed to be their Valentine for the year. In the poem, Charles excuses himself from the custom, apologetically telling his allotted Valentine that he's too old and tired. Cupid is associated with Valentine's Day because legend suggests that anyone struck by Cupid's arrows would fall deeply and uncontrollably in love. In Roman mythology, Cupid's mother, Venus, the goddess of love and beauty, often sent him on missions to inspire love, a notion perfectly aligned with the spirit of Valentine's Day. In Great Britain, Valentine's Day began to be popularly celebrated around the 17th century. By the middle of the 18th century, it was common for friends and lovers of all social classes to exchange small tokens of affection or handwritten notes. By 1900, printed cards began to replace letters due to improvements in printing technology. Ready-made cards were an easy way for people to express their emotions in a time when direct expression of one's feelings was discouraged. Cheaper postage rates also contributed to an increase in the popularity of sending Valentine's Day greetings. Many notable events took place on St. Valentine's Day, the most obvious and arguably the most famous one being the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. As morning broke on Valentine's Day in Prohibition-era Chicago in 1929, 4 gangsters entered the hangout of mobster Bugs Moran. Possibly under the orders from rival mobster Al Capone, the raiders opened fire on Rand's henchmen, killing 7 in a shower of bullets. It seems that Valentine's Day as a day of love is not always the case, since in 1779 English explorer Captain James Cook was in Hawaii when the once friendly relations between the Europeans and the Hawaiians turned sour. A skirmish broke out, and Cook was stabbed in the neck by a Hawaiian and died shortly after. Late on the 13th of February and into the morning of the 14th of February 1945, Allied bombers launched a sustained bombing campaign over Dresden in Germany. It's thought that nearly 3,000 tons of bombs were dropped on the city and more than 20,000 people were killed. On Valentine's Day in 1984, British ice skaters Jane Torvill and Christopher Dean won the ice dance gold medal at the Winter Olympics in Sarajevo, gaining maximum points for artistic impression for their interpretation of Ravel's Bolero. But all the messages and calls made today, expressing feelings of love and affection, would not be possible without this man, Alexander Graham Bell, who, on the 14th of February 1876, filed his telephone patent application at the US Patent Office in Washington, D.C. Valentine's Day is popular in Britain, the United States, Canada, Australia, and is celebrated in other countries, including Argentina, France, Mexico, and South Korea. In the Philippines, it is the most common wedding anniversary. Today, according to Hallmark, an estimated 145 million Valentine's Day cards will be sent, making Valentine's Day the second largest card sending holiday of the year. The only time more cards are sent is Christmas. Another reason for celebrating today is that it's half term. So you're going to get a lovely holiday, and I'll see you when you get back.